Have you ever wondered what makes bodies tick? Are you creating the sexual reality you desire and require? Would you like to know more about what else is possible with bodies? What if your fantasies are not as strange as you thought they were? What if you could learn to be kinder to your body and kinder to others' bodies? Would you like to create confidence in the bedroom and beyond? How has your sex life or lack of it affected other areas of your life? Have you lost your mojo and wondered where to find it? Everyone has the potency to be a sexual superhero. Get ready to listen, sense, and play with the sexualness that is you. Now, here is the host of The Pleasure Zone, Body Whisperer, Milica Jelenic.
Well, hello, lovelies, and welcome to The Pleasure Zone. How happy am I that you guys are listening in tonight, coming to play. If any of you are brave enough to call in, that would be so cool. If anybody would like to join us in this chat room, we'd love to have you here too on a2zen.fm, and just click on the chat room and get yourself in there and join the fun in the back. So before we get started, some of you may know me, some of you may not know me, some of you may have just jumped on A2Zen and went, that looks strange and interesting. I'm choosing it. So thank you for choosing it. And some of you might have found this on iTunes. I have no idea where you found me, but thank you for finding it. And for those of you who are totally new to this and you're wondering, like, what is this crazy show about? And what are these questions she's asking? And a lot of this show has to do with bringing more awareness to your bodies, to others' bodies, to allow for more pleasure from a place of no judgment. So what my target is to actually allow people to have way more ease in their bodies, their lives, and more joy and embodiment. So if this show contributes to you in that at all, I'm so grateful for that, and I'd love to hear from you. I love getting fan mail. It's one of the most fun things for me to have conversations with people who love this show and ask questions of me, and I love that. So today I was having a very in-depth conversation with the listener, and I love that. I love these, I have a secret question for you. And I love that. Do you ever? Yes, I do. Wow. I'm like, yeah. So I have these very funny conversations and fun conversations with people outside of this radio show, and feel free to write to me. I love that. So for my regular daily life, aside from this great radio show, is I'm a mom, which is like a really big job, and then I also have my own. I have my own business. I work on bodies, and I do a lot of work with people in different capacities to assist them in just growing their lives and growing their businesses. And one of the things I do is body work that's called the mitzvah technique. So I move bodies to align the spine, to have greater ease in the body. It's a type of somatic body work, so it actually eases your body through movement to have more ease and joy in your body. And the other thing, I do a few other things as well, and one of the other things that I offer is the bars, which is something from Access Consciousness, which is a touch thing that, touch your head and all of a sudden you feel amazing. It's one of those really cool things. No, it sounds so simple. So if you'd like way more information on the bars, feel free to check out accessconsciousness.com and look that up. Also, you can find that on my website at milicajelenic.com. That's milicajelenic.com. You can find that under sessions. There's all kinds of information and videos about what I offer there. So tonight, I invited a woman. I've actually never even spoken to you, Carol, which is hilarious. I've just met you on Facebook. I know you're like a co-host, and I was like, woohoo! There's another sex talk radio show on A2Zen. And it's been for a while that Carol's been on this station, and we haven't even had a conversation yet, which is so funny. So I invited her to come and play. So we have double as sexy, plus we have double sexy producers on tonight with us. So it's we got quad sexy going on. It's kind of crazy happening already.
Thank you so much, Milica.
You're welcome. And Carol Reinlie is Reinlie. I always get it mixed up, and I say it two ways in my head.
That's Reinlie? Okay. It's Reinlie.
Cool.
Yeah.
Reinlie, cool. I usually say it one way, and then I say it the other way. And even when I look at it, I say it two ways. So Carol is an Access Certified Facilitator. And one of the things that she'd like to do is open up a whole new world of possibilities when it comes to relationships. So that's what she's really her kind of target is right now. Carol Reinlie is a marketer, author, radio show host, and Access Consciousness certified facilitator who loves to assist people expand their relationships, lives, and businesses. A consummate entrepreneur, Carol has spent the last 25 years working with many individuals, entrepreneurs, and organizations, and probably a lot of other things you're not even aware of, right, Carol? Like, how many people's lives have you touched that, just being you and assisting those in those ways and the individuals, and how that just, like, flows out to everyone and everything, which is kind of like our topic tonight, right? Like bringing you, and how when you bring up you, showing up as the brilliant you are. Yeah. How amazing is that? Yeah.
Absolutely. And how sexy can that be to you?
Awesome. And you actually came up with that title. Yeah. So Carol came up with the title for the show tonight. Quite often I do, and I love it when the guest comes up with a title. So the title tonight is The Pleasure of Showing Up as the Total Brilliant, Sexy You. And I love that, because how much of us are really only willing to be like 5% of the sexy us, or less,
Absolutely, yeah. And it's funny because I just got out of a series of classes over the weekend, and I was really gently trying to assist people in, just embracing embracing that total brilliant, sexy you that you are, or that unique brilliance that you are, is what I like to say. That when you can tap into in any kind of relationship, whether that's a sex relationship, whether it's a business, or all of that, it's a similar energy that just when you can embrace it, can open up to any and all possibilities that you haven't even considered yet. So I have such gratitude for you having me on your show.
And thank you for saying yes.
Is it pronounced
Milica? Yes.
Okay.
Exactly how it doesn't look.
Okay.
So,
yeah, Reinlie, exactly how it's not spelled too. So.
That's cool, right?
We could be so misunderstood for our names, but understood for the energy of what we're talking about.
Yes.
So yes, thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome, and I'm so excited to explore some tips and tools for people on what it is they can use in their daily lives to show up more as the totally brilliant, sexy you that they be. When you gave me that title, I started just writing some questions around that, and some of the questions were like, well, do you remember the last time you showed up as the brilliant, sexy you? And I've actually looked at some babies over the last weekend, and my cousin just had her babe was christened, and what a sexy little guy. And he's just the sexualness that he just captivated an entire room of 200 people. It was total joy, smiling the whole time, absolute joy of embodiment. His clothes come off, he's in his diaper, and he's ready to get christened, half naked in front of everybody, and just absolute bliss.
Awesome.
How many of us have that? It's if I got naked in a room full of people, I don't know if I'm smiling or if I would perceive all their judgments. And would I really be able to be an interesting point of view, going, okay, well, that's just their point of view, or to be the space to receive all of the energy coming at me like he did, which for me was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I'm finding is, probably from about, and most people say 4 or 5 years old, it might be different for you, where you stop doing that. Stop really having that energy, because you're told, 1, not to ask questions, 2, be quiet and just be whatever you be in the space that you be, but be quiet about it. And how often does that really fun with any relationship that we're in, or any expansiveness that we're in? It's funny because I really like to help people and assist people expand into the energy of what is their life. And in that, when you can follow the energy of not only your body and other bodies, and not pick up, just return to center the judgment of all that around you, it's a beautiful thing. And you can be in the space of giving not only to you and them, but also to just, in general, the kingdom of we in general.
Yeah, so, it's just being the gift that we be. And like you were saying, like just that, whatever that is for you, what if we didn't have to buy the points of view that people are projecting at us? So
yes.
Yeah, that's like a really big one. I watched, I really love observing people, and I always have. People intrigue me, and I intrigue me. I've observed myself a lot too, and like everything about like life intrigues me. So sometimes I just watch people, and it fascinates me. I was watching my daughter, who, as a baby, so like not that I'm comparing the babies, but just my daughter's awareness of judgment, and what she did with it as a baby compared to what my cousin's son is doing it with the judgments. So judgments are everything. For everybody who's listening, judgments are when people think you're the best and when people think you're the worst. It's all of it. It's not just you're so awful. It's all of it. So and babies get a lot of judgments like, oh, you're the cutest little thing ever. Like people put so much onto our bodies when we're really small. Even in utero, we put tons of judgments onto the body. So asking like that, like when was the last time I showed up as the totally brilliant, sexy me? And I really wonder, as I looked at my daughter when she was a babe, she was very clear that she did not like to be naked in front of people, ever. I was too, like, if I went to go change her diaper and it was like somewhere even remotely public where one other person could see it, she would have a fit. So I really became aware that that was not okay to her, and she's very private that way. And even to this day, she's very private. She's never been like a nudist the way like I was like a nudist, and as a kid until people really started to mock me, and then I started to feel, I started to take on all these distractions of shame, like, oh, that was so terrible what I did running around the backyard naked. So I wonder, like, I talked about that one baby, like having that joy of it, and then how sometimes are we so perceptive that, we are aware of the judgments, but we're not really aware of what the judgments are. So, people could have been looking at my daughter as a baby going, wow, she's so cute. And what she got was all, whatever it is, it's judgment. It was like not cool with it. And still isn't. When people even judge her as cute, she's like, will you stop it? But if you tell her she's brilliant, she'll receive it. If you tell her she's cute, she's like, ugh, it's really funny. So when, yes, it's like, did we cut that off in utero? Did we cut it off another lifetime? And it's funny because I hear people talking about, kids will have more ease in changing things. And I really wonder, is that true? And like what if they're super, super aware and they don't have such, it's not so fast for them because they're actually so much more aware of everything from so many lifetimes that it's like letting all of that go.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing that is attached to that, because I felt like I was a really cute baby. And I'll just say that. And I got a lot of attention for it, and I got a lot of stuff for it from my sister because she didn't appreciate the fact that I was getting attention. And I have so many, mostly I think women, and I don't know, it might be a man thing too as well, but people saying, well, I don't necessarily like receiving that attention because that means I might have to do something.
Yes.
Or I might have to turn somebody down or, whatever that is. So they end up turning that, whatever that energy is, down rather than turning it up and just being joyous in the fact that that's where they are. Like that's that total brilliant, sexy you. Mm-hmm. And where are you turning it down rather than just blasting it out and turning it up and just saying, oh, well.
Like me or not like me, thanks.
Yeah, like me or not like me, this is me, wherever I am and the brilliant, sexy being that I am. And so wherever you feel that like that needs to be a place where you're, I don't know if it's turning away somebody or saying no to somebody and you're not comfortable with that, whatever that is, that energy, where you just don't want to embrace it because you're picking up on all the other energy around you. Would you be willing to destroy and create it all, please?
Yes.
Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, all nine shorts, boys, meows.
I like you threw a little Serbian accent in there almost for a second there, Carol. That was good, right and wrong. Sometimes I like to do the accents on this show. That's pretty cool.
There we go. I've been doing accents all week and in my class.
That's awesome. I love facilitating classes from an accent. People will actually hear me then.
Yes, absolutely.
So what if that's part of the showing up as a brilliant, sexy being you be, is that you can actually tap into any energy that's required at any time and be whatever it is that's required to create the change you desire. That's pretty sexy.
Yeah, and what if you received somebody accepting you and seeing you and noticing you as your brilliant, sexy you? Mm-hmm. What else? What other possibilities could be there for you?
Yes. So I did have a little talk with my daughter about like that. I was asking her some questions, and she actually let me know. She's like, no, I don't have a point of view like about what. My daughter's 7.5. She's like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me if she likes me or doesn't like me. I didn't like how she was treating me. I didn't want her. It was about an aunt of mine who was being really aggressive with her, and so my daughter said, no, I just don't like the way she treats me, so I'm not interested in being around her. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So and like I wonder so much of like that, like sometimes that energy of like not like smiling your head off like all the time can come across as being not brilliant. However, what if there is brilliance even when you look really serious? Like what if that's like sort of a ferocious presence that is like choosing to be ferociously present so that you know, or aggressively present, either one. Like what if that is part of your brilliance and you don't always have to be bubbly to be the brilliant you either?
Yeah, what if that's sexy just in itself?
So yeah, there was something about it, and she was so expansive after we talked about it. She was like, yeah, this is like she really had her own back, and I thought that's really cool because you know, there's so many times where we've been told, well, that's your aunt and that's your so-and-so. You go be nice to them. I don't do that with her. I'm like, if you don't like them, you don't like them. But if they give you money, just say thanks for the money and walk away. Serbian likes just handing out money for no particular reason. So my daughter just, you know, received like $120 for being on the weekend. And she does. She'll just show up stuff and receive money for being. And so for her, she's like become sort of like used to people just give her money for being, which is really cool. And what if we all could just receive money for being? And whatever judgments people are throwing at us, like, you're so cute, or why don't you talk to me, and why aren't you smiling? And people do that, right? It's like, I gave you money, you should smile. She's like, thanks for the money. And she just got really serious, looking like she just looked stoic. And there was a lot of judgment at her. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, whatever, you could just be stoic. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks for the money. I'm done. So how many times are we told how we're supposed to react and what we're supposed to look like when we are being joy, being us, all of that? Like there's, you know, I had created a lot of judgment on myself about that. Like, if I'm really being me, should I not be smiling more often? Like, should I not look happier? Should my body not look different? Like, if I'm really being me, shouldn't I always be dancing around happy like these other people I know who seem to be smiling all the time? And, you know, until I started getting some tools from Access Consciousness, I really thought that I was really pathetic. And so now I'm like, wow, no, what is this energy? And what am I aware of? And so many times I'm just aware of something, or I'm being an intensity of space that doesn't always have a great big smile attached to it. It's just this intensity of space. That can actually create dynamic change for myself and others.
Absolutely. And what a beautiful gift that is for you showing up as that.
Yeah. So
and also teaching your daughter to do that as well.
Yeah. So that's, and like for me, how fun would it be if we were all in allowance of each other, right? Just that being in allowance of each other, whatever our faces show up as, smiling, not smiling, and what if we didn't have to judge that? We talk on this show a lot. Sometimes, Carol, I was reminded today how much I talk about the judgment of body parts. And one thing that I haven't really talked about is the judgment of people even looking at your face smiling, or say looking at your face while having an orgasm, right? It's people will also have this well, a face will look this way when it has an orgasm, and what if it's different, And we don't have a judgment of that either. How much more can we be ourselves? Yeah.
And how any and all of that to open up to all the possibilities is can look anyway.
Yeah.
Not necessarily smiling, not necessarily, whatever that is. I know I had a call from somebody that they were saying, why are you always laughing? And
you're not allowed to do that. No.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's just me. I mean, that's just me showing up as me. I find a lot of life funny, and I find, things that I think are funny, and even in using the tools of Access, which are a beautiful gift, I still find things that come out of my life funny, because it's just like, oh, you know what? What was I thinking there? And that's just kind of funny, and that I was in that space of making that decision. Or, even with the name of my show is Bringing the Sexy, and it's not necessarily, it can and has been about sex and opening and being open to whatever the possibilities are there, but it's also just about really showing up as the total brilliant sexy you, because that to me is sexy. That's bringing the sexy. That's showing up in that energy of, you know what, this is me no matter what, and you can judge me however you're going to judge me. If you're going to judge me, that's fine, but this is me, and this is how I'm going to show up. And so I just kind of laughed at that, because I thought, well, I just laugh. That's my way of, being sexy and all of that, because that's just me. I've always found things funny about life, found things funny about decisions I make, found things funny about how things show up in my life. That's probably also been a thing in my family, is that I can appreciate, is that even though, things pop up as they can in families, as we all know, we can still laugh and joke and get a good laugh out of it as well. And how can that be sexy?
Yeah, laughter, and how much fun is that? So when we come back from break, let's talk more about what is sexy to you, right? So individually, and what some tools we can gift people on stepping more into that. So when we come back from break, let's play with some tips and tools to bring on the sexy.
Sounds beautiful.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. Would you be willing to explore what has already been introduced as sexual practices on this planet? What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution? Taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation. By tuning into the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a2zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour, and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
What does optimal cell health mean, and how can you create it? Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy by Swiss Bionics can improve your well-being in every area of your life. The PEMF mat stimulates cells to move and create space between cells for optimal cell function. How does it get better than that? Use 2 to 3 times per day for 8 minutes will improve circulation and immune function. Cell metabolism and repair begins, and mobility also will increase. Do you desire better health? If you're interested or would like a session, call 613-473-3805 or in Toronto. Call or text 416-253-1617. Monthly rentals start at only $300 per month. Is now the time to choose optimal cell health?
This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call us in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255-TALK or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask for comment by email by sending to Milica at milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight my guest is Carol Reinlie. She's also got a radio show on this station called Bring the Sexy. So if you have a chance to listen to that, check it out. So tonight we're actually going to get to some tips and tools on bringing the totally sexy, brilliant you be out more. It's like if you could really date you and bring you out to the public more, what would that look like to be bringing the sexy you out into the world? And Carol, when you were speaking earlier, you mentioned that as a baby that you thought you were pretty cute. So was there ever a time in your life where you didn't have the point of view that you were beautiful or that you were cute or anything like that? Or have you always had a pretty good sense of confidence about how you look?
Oh gosh. Yeah, there was definitely a time where I just felt very awkward and I felt a little bit I can do separation pretty well with that as a kid and all that other good stuff. And also because I think I was made wrong for being cute by certain people, that I felt like I needed to kind of shut that down and all that other stuff. And so yeah, I think I've gone through different stages of that, and now being an adult in life, I just see, gosh, anybody that I can assist in expanding on that brilliant, sexy you that you are, no matter what that is. Because what if you're being made, what if what you're being made wrong for is actually a strength that you have? And I just feel like there's a beauty and a sexiness in everyone that when they can embrace it. And so wherever you're not willing to receive the brilliant, sexy you, the brilliant, beautiful, sexy you that you are you willing to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
And anything that is good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And that lovely little thing is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement that we use. Milica might have referred to it on other shows.
Yep.
You can check it out at accessconsciousness.com or the clearingstatement.com. But we don't know how it works. It's kind of a crazy little statement.
It's magic.
But
it's like a magic wand.
It's magic. It's like, it just addresses the energy of whatever that is, where you're not willing to embrace you totally, the beauty of you, the sexiness of you, the brilliance of you. And, yeah, I like, Keisha says, it just changes shit. Yes, it does. That's so lovely. Yeah, and it's so funny because I kind of find it my life's work to help assist people in embracing that. And for some reason, people they will go round and round and round, and they will see the beauty in everybody else, and they'll see the beauty in everything around them, and they can appreciate all the, the beauty of the surroundings of the landscape and whatever else is going on in their life, their children, etc. And when you get down to them, it's like the walls go up. So wherever walls are going up for you to receive the beauty that you be, I like to say barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, please. And then just can you receive the energy that is the beauty of you? And just sit with it. And just relish in it. And be sexy in it. And embrace it. And touch it and let it embrace you. Just let it caress you. Wherever you can let that energy just touch the knee of you and caress you. And anything that doesn't allow that, would you be willing to destroy and create all that? Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because when was the last time you were able to totally not only caress you, but caress the energy of you? And do you get the sexiness of that? And do you get the brilliance of that? And do you get the lovely, juicy, orgasmic, just intensity of that? And anything that doesn't allow that, would you be willing to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Doesn't that feel so much more expansive?
So much more fun.
Absolutely.
So what if you do see the beauty in everything, and and there's so I get the energy that there may be like some people out there going, but I find everything else is beautiful and I just can't find that in me, and okay, I've tried these clearings, so I know this. So do the clearing, like if you can listen to those clearings again that Carol just did. And I also wonder too, if you really truly do see the beauty in something else, can you really like tap into the energy of that and then start to ask, like, where am I that? Where am I being that? Where am I, can I choose that to be that, right?
Yeah.
So what if you do actually acknowledge the beauty in everything and you are that too?
Absolutely. And anything that doesn't allow you to receive that, would you barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, and pock and pot all that? That's just the short version of the lovely clearing statement. Yeah. And how sexy can you be in that moment? So the thing that I always go back to, Milica, is if everything's energy, and we're infinite energy beings, then we must be a part of all that is beauty and all that we see around us. So anything we're not accepting of that we are that, would you be willing to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
Good, bad, right, wrong, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
So, there's like, we have so much judgment, right? And there in the world, like this reality is so full of this judgment around all of this. So you had asked a question about like tapping, like, being more of that. It was like, no, nobody can choose that. Like there is this funny thing in Shred. No, we cannot have that. If we all stepped into our beauty and our sexiness and like really stepped into all that, yeah, no, the world, there would be something really, really wrong on this planet, Carol. Like there'd be happy bodies, for one. That's just not allowed. And
the
there would
planet
be
might explode is what I got over the weekend, is that I might explode something, like something
GMOs might
up.
yeah, it's possible. I think GMO would be eliminated because the crops would flourish. We wouldn't even require GMOs anymore, my interesting point of view. Trees would probably flourish. You know, we'd have fruit and flowers that it would just, would we even require pesticides? Our bodies would be such a joy. Would it take care of everything? So I really wonder, can we obliterate GMOs with joy of embodiment? What else is possible?
No, not at all. No, just kidding.
No, we can't do that. That's just too big.
No,
Let's start small.
Do that, people.
Let's just change the smell of our poop instead, and that'll be better.
There we go.
We'll so much easier.
Go down to everything that we're putting in our mouth as right or wrong or good. Yeah. It's funny because I was just out in California about a week or so ago, and everybody was talking about how it's not raining here. We need rain. You know, it's not raining here. And I go, oh, that's an interesting. I was out somewhere just walking around, and I was like, everybody kept telling me that. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting point of view. Because I like to play with the weather.
Yes, me too.
And it just so happened that as I was heading towards the airport to fly out of California, it was raining pretty hard, and I thought,
There's no way. You're not that potent, Carol. I'm sorry.
Isn't that interesting?
Right?
So wherever you're not willing to embrace, wherever you can have the ability to change anything, and did we really get that with anything?
Yes, everything.
Are you willing to destroy and uncreate anything that doesn't allow that?
Yeah.
Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because, heck, if we're all energy beings and everything's energy, I don't know, just saying.
Anything's possible. I love that your weather maker story. That's great. Like my daughter has this phenomenal capacity with rain. And as a baby, she was really mad at me like she was just like, no, I don't want to be here. It was not so much at me as like the choice I made to be somewhere. I had this gardening job when she was an infant, and I was carrying her because I was like, my point of view at the time, and it wasn't in Access, my point of view was, if the women in China can take their babies into a field and carry them, I can do this job gardening and carry my child. So I'm out there gardening, and I've got her strapped to me, and this was not joy for her, and she just started screaming, and the cloud came in, and it poured just over where I was gardening. I was like, well, I said to the family, I'm going to have to leave. It's pouring. And they said, oh, yeah. And I got in the car, and we left, and as I drove away, the rain cloud was literally only over their property. And I arrived at my mom's, and I was like, oh, Mom, I had to, leave the job early today. She said, Zeve didn't want to be there, did she? I'm like, no. She said, I know. I saw the storm cloud show up right over those people's heads. I was like, wow.
No potency there.
Right? And, what if we all can contribute to the weather that way? And, what we desire for the weather, if you really do desire to have some rain on your land, can you just, have gratitude for the fact that rain is possible? For one, wow, I'm so grateful that rain's possible, and to start choosing for it to show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a friend that also went to Arizona, and they were having a drought apparently, and her body was having a fever. This was about a month ago, and then she's in Access, and she started asking a lot of questions, and literally as her body started to have tears coming into her eyes, it started to rain. Her body was mimicking everything that was going on with the earth and with all of the weather. And really, guys, how much do we do that? How connected are we? How connected are your bodies to all of that? And that your body can actually contribute to creating more ease on the planet for the plants, for the animals. And that there's not a wrongness if there's a drought. It's just like, hey, Earth, would you like some rain? Would you like us to contribute to you having some rain? So it's not to assume there's a wrongness. You didn't go to a wrongness, Carol, when people were like, we need rain. You're like, that's interesting. It wasn't a wrongness in the fact that they didn't have rain. It was more like, oh, okay, Earth, do you require it? And it was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll contribute that energy to you. So please don't go into like the wrongness of what's going on the planet. When I mention GMOs, I'm just saying, like, what if they're not required, and what if it's possible that we can actually create a flourishing planet just by being the totally sexy, brilliant beings we be, and bringing that out into the world. But only me and Carol can do that. You guys can't do that.
Yeah, don't try to do that at home because, you guys aren't potent or anything, so don't do that. Yeah, I had a whole conversation about gluten also because and I was reading this whole long article about, because I'm in the South of in the United States, and I can have some points of view about that, but as can others. But what the article was saying was, we've really gone back to individual farmers farming the land. And the wheat that they're using in order to do that is they're making this bread we don't have the issue with that people have that have a sensitivity about if it has gluten in it. Oh my Lord, I can't have any of it. So I found myself and I don't have a point of view about any and all of it. And so I found myself in the bread bowl. Wherever we were going, and people were like, I can't do,
You gluten monster, that's awful.
You gluten
so
monster,
wrong.
you're going to be throwing up or doing whatever that gluten is going to cause you to do.
You have that belly thing and poop
I didn't have the point of view about it, and I thought, bread to me is sexy right now. I it just tastes good. I can't get enough of orgasmically, it just
Bread is sexy.
And they were
guys.
like,
you hear that?
Yeah, bread is sexy.
Bread is sexy.
But I had also read the little article about individual farmers going back to the original way we used to, have wheat and all that other stuff, and that they're making this bread that people aren't having the reaction to. So wherever we're just generally saying as a blanket statement that, it doesn't rain in California, or we can't have gluten, or we can't embrace the total brilliant, sexy me we are, because, then I will have to maybe say no to somebody. Hey, you know what? That's okay. As long as you're being potent as you can say no, yes, whatever you want to. So whatever that is, that energy is where we're saying no blanketly to life, rather than embracing the total brilliant, sexy earth, us, whatever, would be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please.
Yes.
Good, bad, right, wrong, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
I like that.
Because I know I'm not a generality. You're probably not a generality, Milica.
No. I like that thing you were saying about saying yes and saying no. So what if no is not at all about rejection and separation? What if no really, when you're in the question, no is about choosing for you?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's like, no, I'm not interested in that, but there's this energy of separation that comes in with it. So everywhere you're refusing to say no because you're determined to never have separation with anything, that you're all about communion. So it's all about the yes. What if it's all about the question and choosing what works for you? So what if no actually works for you, and everything that doesn't allow that, can we destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Yes,
right, wrong, good, bad,
yes.
pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because where we made no a bad thing, or yes a bad thing, or sometimes when, like you said, when we're saying no, it could be that we're contributing to the kingdom of we and me, because maybe I had a situation where I had a wedding that I got invited to, and I just simply chose not to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, I celebrated them. I sent them a beautiful gift. It was great. I just, I chose for me, the energy of it was just like a no. And it wasn't anything against them. It wasn't anything, whatever. It was for everybody.
So whenever somebody else gives you a no, can you ask, ask some questions too, like, oh, a lot of people will go to, oh my God, they just rejected me. Carol said no to my wedding. She hates me. She sent me a present.
That
so what
bitch.
does it mean? Oh my God, now I'm all jacked in the head because she said no, but she sent me something. I don't understand it. Like everywhere you go into crazy when somebody says no to you, we just try and create at all times a godzillion. Right,
Yes.
wrong, good, bad, POC, pot online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. You can just go into crazy for fun. You don't really have to have a justification for it.
Yeah. Or you can be totally brilliantly sexy crazy, or
crazy, sexy, funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think we're going to go.
Okay.
And what if all of it is like, what if consciousness includes everything, including yeses and nos?
Might be onto something.
Might be onto something. So when we come back from break, we'll have a few more minutes to talk about a little bit more of this choice and sexiness and smiles and not smiles and everything that's brilliant that you be.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. Would you be willing to explore what has already been introduced as sexual practices on this planet? What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution? Taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation. By tuning into the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a2zen.fm.
What does optimal cell health mean, and how can you create it? Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy by Swiss Bionics can improve your well-being in every area of your life. The PEMF mat stimulates cells to move and create space between cells for optimal cell function. How does it get better than that? Use 2 to 3 times per day for 8 minutes will improve circulation and immune function. Cell metabolism and repair begins, and mobility also will increase. Do you desire better health? If you're interested or would like a session, call 613-473-3805 or in Toronto. Call or text 416-253-1617. Monthly rentals start at only $300 per month. Is now the time to choose optimal cell health?
This is The Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call us in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255-TALK or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask for comment by email by sending to Milica at milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and my guest tonight is Carol Reinlie. Before we went to break, we were kind of discussing some things like no's. We were discussing the love of bread and other fun things. And what I'm wondering is, like, people talk about the terrible twos when kids do no, 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 no all the time. And how much have we actually been trained out of choosing for ourselves and what works for us through rejecting the no? And I wonder too, like, if we were, if our parents or the people who raised us, whoever reared us, were an allowance of us choosing no for us, would there be any significance to that? Like, would we actually have any of that energy that's like about the separation or rejection there? Just curious about that. This is actually for real going to be my topic next week. The whole title is No.
Yeah. No is not a 4-letter word? Is that what it is?
But yes, sometimes is.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, because where have we made no positive or no negative and yes positive, or yes, negative and no positive, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever I was trying to say. I don't know. I got my words mixed up.
The polarity of it all. But making yes wrong and no right and no wrong and yes right and all that jazz. Yeah, everywhere we've messed it all up.
The opposite. Yeah, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite it appears to be.
Yeah, that's cool. That's such a curiosity to me now. I'm like, wow, I really like this whole concept of playing with no as a way of choosing. That it's actually a contribution to our lives. And what if that is so part of bringing the sexy you? Acknowledging what is true for you and what's light for you and what's fun for you and choosing that. And if saying no is really fun and expansive at the time, like Carol, when you said no to the wedding, and it was like, how much of that was just like fun to say, yeah, no, I'm not actually going. And that's really fun.
Yeah, it was kind of
no.
a weird energy. I've never been able to I don't think I've been that much into being able to embrace that. Like, no, I'm not going. What do you mean you're not? I got from a lot of different people, well, we missed you, and what do you mean you're not going? And, well, you were invited. I wasn't invited. almost like, you got the choice to go or not go. And it was like, yeah, I think a wedding is a beautiful thing. I'm sure it was a great, expansive, day. But for me at the time, no.
You were invited and you said no, and I wasn't invited. Damn it, that's so funny.
Damn it, you, you blah, 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 blah.
Everywhere that's ever showed up in your life and you're making it really significant right now, like, that's happened to me before, and Jane didn't invite me to her wedding, and then she invited Mary, but not me, and oh my God. Can we just try and uncreate all that time ago?
Mary said no?
Oh my God. The chaos that ensued. And then I had to write on Facebook about it. Everything can we just try and create it all?
I wasn't in the pictures because I said no.
right. Get that. I'm sure it's always
when it was a joyous thing for me. No, anyway. Yeah.
And then I got on to Photoshop, and I Photoshopped myself into all the photos so people thought I was really there and just didn't see me, and it confused the whole wedding party. That would be great.
There we go. I told them I went. Didn't you see me? Come on.
Everywhere you're not willing to mess with people's universes, because that's a little bit of just a little bit of who you be. Just trying to create it all the time.
A tiny bit, yes. I was there. Where were you?
That's right. Did you see me? I was in the background. I was actually the flower girl, but So yeah, it's like, what if so much of being you too is where you are willing to be that like fun, goofy person who is willing to just play practical pranks and jokes. And like, what if it's fun? What if it's all from a place of kindness to actually like create more awareness, I watched Gary and Dane do that. Like, randomly Dane will like walk up to Gary and blow raspberries on his neck or his belly or something. Like, just like funny things to like get a person out of their stuckness. Like, are you willing to be whatever it is that expands your world? And when you choose that, how much does it expand everybody else's?
Absolutely. And how sexy can that be?
Just too sexy, so I'm choosing it, but everybody else, sorry guys.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're out of luck. There's actually, like, it was limited when they handed that option out, and it was only for me, Carol, and our producers, Keisha and Rhonda, like nobody. And Patrina, who's also got a show on here, she's allowed to, but sorry, guys.
Well, but not anybody else, because it's like the Black Friday, and this whole,
the field's over.
Is limited. There's only 50, sexinesses available, unless you're at the door, willing to beat other people up in order to get it. You can't have it.
That's
just saying.
Right. So we've got a bit. I want to thank you, Carol, for coming on my show tonight and playing, and taking this call wherever it went tonight. Because it's always like, who knows where this is going? I've got a title.
I mean, you never know, but it always goes where it needs to go, right?
Yep. A to Zen, the channel where nothing's planned.
There we go. Thank you so much. I have so much gratitude for having me on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This was fun.
Have you on both of our shows this week, next coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you for choosing to listen to The Pleasure Zone. Milica Jelenic will return next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on a2zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.